All right, what's going on Facebook Friday? It's almost the end of July. We got about another 10 days or so left. And my name's Eric Hammond, and this is the Orange Stack. We do these shows every Friday. I've been calling them Facebook Friday because we're on Friday and we're on Facebook. So super creative name. Anyway, we go each week into deeper ways to do marketing in your business, whether it's through digital or just automation. Really, that's what we're going to be diving in today, is about CRMs and how to use them more in your business. Last week we had a ton of great comments. People reached out to me and just said thanks for all the information about what you guys do with your CRM. So I want to dive a little bit deeper and maybe give a few more ideas on what you can do in your business to maybe automate yourself and your time and be able to get more time back in your day. And I think that a lot of that will come through a CRM. So we are in Carlsbad today. There's a lagoon right back here. People water skiing and jet skiing, and I tried to find this little cove between some buildings here so that it didn't get too loud with the wind and everything. It's kind of a windy day here, but anyway, thank you guys for following along. Again, we are going over CRMs today. So we use a paid version of Insightly, which is owned by Google. It's a pretty basic CRM, but it adapts to a lot of the different things that we need it to use. I've used programs like Salesforce and Infusionsoft, a couple other ones in the past, and they're great, and they can get really expensive if you try to get them too custom. I think Salesforce is definitely one of the best CRMs I've ever used. Unfortunately, though, to get it kind of to a degree that you need it to, you're probably spending anywhere between $20,000 and $40,000 initially just to set that up, and then about per user, you're $100 a month or more. So it can get a little costly. We're trying to find tools that people that we work with can use. So if you're a small business or startup, you probably don't have $40,000 or $50,000 to dump into a CRM. You probably have about $500 to $1,000 to spend on something like this. And so with Insightly, there's a free account, which you basically just use it kind of like a phone book, keeping your names, contact info in there. But then it goes all the way up to, I think $200 is kind of the highest amount that they promote on their cost per month, but then it can go higher on that after you get to the enterprise edition and more customization tools that you can use. But it usually ranges from about $50 to $100 per user, and there's nothing that you have to buy up front. There's no out of the box packages that you have to buy. It's pretty much just sign up and you get a couple weeks for free and really dive into what you want to use it for. So it takes probably about 2 or 3 months to kind of figure out what you're doing and what direction you want to go with it. But after that, it's a great tool. And so there's a lot of tools that go along with the CRM. There's a lot of external automation tools, things like Zapier. I tried to do a little bit of research on some other things that worked with these programs, but I wanted to keep this kind of more towards system automation and how to use it in your business if you're just kind of new to a CRM package. So I'm sure most people who are following along have something to keep track of their contacts, whether it's their iPhone or the contact thing in your phone book, or your computer, even Google, right? Or your email platform can have a way of keeping contact information, phone numbers, birth dates, notes about people like that. I talked to one guy a couple weeks ago who was using Excel. He literally just pulled up an Excel sheet in column A, he put the name, column B, he put the last name, column C, he put the phone number. So, if it gets to be that basic, you definitely need to reach out to a free CRM tool and just show you what's available. I think the biggest thing is being able to remember what to do next. So a lot of people will have, a client that they meet with or something that they want to do with that client, and they'll forget about them because it's not top of mind. And so the CRM can be a great way to keep track of who you know, and then also schedule out tasks in your calendar so that you can be productive and follow up with people when you need to. So I've got my note sheet here. Today we are going to go over a couple different things. Number one is email automation. Another section of this would be lead funnels, and then different campaigns and ways to, again, automate some of the things that happen kind of in the background that you don't have to think about once they're set up. So it takes kind of knowing your business and where the path of a customer goes. So knowing the lifetime direction of a client, and from the day that you meet them all the way to the end of after they purchase, and maybe even want to stay in contact after they purchase, because some people will have repeat customers. In real estate, most people buy a house every 8 to 15 years. So staying in contact with those guys is super important, because in 8 years, if you're still in business, you obviously want them to come back and do business with you again. But if they forget about you, they're just going to find the next real estate agent that's there to help them at that time. So some people we work with have clients that see them 3 or 4 times a week. It just depends on your business. But let's start with email automation. I think that a big thing that we've tried to help some of our clients do is set up kind of a welcome series. So let's say you're a new doctor, a doctor that someone's seen for the first time, and they come and visit you, and they have that initial consultation. You can set up a series of emails that go out based off that first appointment. So before they even see you, they may get 1 or 2 or 3 emails saying, hey, when you show up on Monday for your appointment, this is what's going to happen. We need you to fill out these forms, and by the way, if you can bring this insurance card. And maybe a couple days later, it's, hey, don't forget your appointment's Monday at 8 o'clock. We're going to see you. Don't forget to bring your insurance card. Post emails after the event, like, thank you for coming. Here's some more information on your appointment. Here's the results that we had. So kind of just like a welcome to our company, right? And welcome to what we do. I think that welcome videos can be good because it's just a great way to get to know you a little bit better. And especially if you have a video. We have a video email that welcomes people to our business, and when I get to know you in person, if I meet you at a conference or in your store, or it's like a one-on-one meeting, I put you into our CRM and it sends you a few videos. Right now I think it's about 5 that kind of introduce who we are and what we do and how we can work together, and just some of the benefits of our products and what we do. So if you're that type of a business that can kind of not sell really, but just more tell people on who you are and why it's going to be great working with this new person, a welcome series can be great. A lot of these can have forks in the road too. So meaning that if you send a couple emails deep and there's a video in there that they watch, you can have a series saying that if you watch this video, start sending them this new series of emails, and if they don't watch that video, keep sending them this series of videos. So maybe you provide a couple different options of information in these emails, and based off certain clicks, you can have them go down different routes. Let me give you an example. If you're a chiropractor and somebody clicks on something about back pain in your email, you want to probably give them more information on how to relieve back pain, versus maybe they clicked on something to do with a knee or headache or nutrition, things like that. Maybe you want to find out what type of topics and content they're interested in, and then once they pick one, give them more in that direction, just because you're going to be putting relevant information in front of them. Next, let's talk about lead funnels. So, actually backing up really quick, all this email automation can be set up right from a CRM. Most CRMs work with platforms called MailChimp or Constant Contact, BombBomb, things like this. So different email campaigns that can be sent out to 1 up to thousands of recipients, and you can set it up so that it doesn't have to just go out every Thursday at 8 o'clock or things like that. It can be triggered to, if this event happens, send this email at this time. So it's super custom to when specific people take actions, or your CRM realizes that a specific event happened. Lead funnels. Okay, so most people capture a lot of their leads from Facebook, meaning that somebody saw their ad or clicked on a post or something, and they put them into this new website so that they could get more information from them. If you're been on Facebook lately, you'll see a lot of sponsored posts from people trying to say, hey, sign up for this newsletter, or sign up for that ebook, or come learn about this. That's really what that is. You're clicking on that ad and you're being taken to kind of a small website. It's just one page. Here's a little bit more information. Enter your email in here and we're going to do this kind of a thing. So that's a lead funnel. You basically just entered into a series of follow-up plans for that business that is trying to get you more information or trying to stay in front of you more. They're trying to basically sell you something in the future, whether it's a book now or a service later. But those can be great, because what happens is once you direct your traffic outside of Facebook to a website that you have, now you can do something with it in your CRM because they've visited your site. You can use a Facebook pixel and you can say, hey, keep sending those guys messages. They were here, but they didn't buy, or they downloaded this, so now send them that information. So there's a whole bunch of forks in the road that you can take once they get into a lead funnel. And if you had to do this all manually, you got to monitor that page constantly. You got to see who clicked what, who downloaded what, where did they go from here, all the Google Analytics of it. So the nice thing about a CRM is you can basically say, okay, when John or whoever gets to this page and they click on this link, now send them there, and when they click on that, I'll send them there. So it's a whole maze of information information. But if you have your system set up, it's just follow the maze all the way to the end, and by giving them more and more of the content that they're looking for, they're going to get to know you better, they're going to keep seeing your face, more content from you, they're just going to trust you, and that's what leads to a transaction. If you've read anything about marketing, it usually takes between 8 and 20 touches before someone's converted. So, one ad on Facebook trying to either sell a house or sign up for a chiropractor appointment or come to my dentist, that's not going to happen. Those one-time clicks, they don't happen. You have to keep hitting them one after another, and that's why lead funnels can be great. But a big one, as you noticed I just talked about, is signing up for a newsletter and signing up for an ebook, because if they actually give you an email address and want to download something, that means they're probably interested in that topic. So if somebody is willing to download that and give you that information, start a whole series of follow-up from there. And then basically at a certain point in time, you're going to want to ask for either an appointment or a phone number so that you can convert them either in person, or live over the phone, something like that. Next is cart campaigns. So this is fun. So think about Amazon or online products. If you're selling something with a SKU, basically the little barcode thing, a lot of companies will put product out online and they'll sell it, and you can add items to a cart like Amazon. Amazon wasn't the one that invented this, but they sure know how to do it. So if you've ever bought anything on Amazon and you put something in a cart, let's say it's a book, and you leave that website and you don't buy that book at that time, that's called an abandoned cart action. So what they do is they now come back to you and say, hey, you forgot that book. Did you want to buy it? So they remind you about it. And then maybe a couple days later, if you still haven't taken an action, they can say, hey, this book's 10% off. Don't forget to buy it. Or they may say, hey, I noticed that you put this book in your cart. How about this and this and this? So here's some other recommendations from other products that people typically buy when they buy that item. So that's getting to really know your customers and who they are. Amazon knows a ton about their customers, and when somebody buys this book, they're probably going to buy that item. It's just in their algorithms of what they know. But what you can do is, if you have an online store and a cart, you can basically track the people who put items in a cart and say, okay, if somebody bought this bike part, for example, they're probably going to come back and maybe buy a helmet or a tire or a flashlight or this or this or this, right? So you can say, hey, thank you for putting this in your cart. If you bought it or not, there's a whole different direction you can go there. But if they did buy, maybe you can say, hey, we're having a sale coming up in July, or we're having a sale coming up in Labor Day, or whatever it is, and just try to keep them coming back for more, because, a $5 part on your store is great, but you want them to keep coming back more and more and more. If they do put something in their cart and they don't buy, again, maybe you want to offer them a promotion to go actually come back and buy that. So a lot of people recommend, after a week, if they didn't buy something, maybe give them 10% off. If 2 weeks go by, maybe offer them 25% off and keep increasing that percentage. Obviously, you don't want to be losing money, but you got to get to a point where it makes sense that somebody's going to click. And after 4 or 5 attempts, if they don't, then maybe you need to send them something else because they didn't really want that product in the first place. So that's kind of click campaigns. They could be great though. It's a good tool, and again, Facebook knows a ton about putting your product in front of people. Basically, we call them follower campaigns. So if somebody, again, puts an item in their cart, you can actually retarget those people on Facebook and keep putting that message in front of them, buy that tire, or buy that pedal, or whatever it was that we're talking about. And it's going to keep following around Facebook, and they're going to remember, like, oh yeah, I got to buy that part. I forgot about that. So that's a great tool. And then predictable purchase software. So each industry has its own case of this. I know in the real estate industry, basically there's so much software and so much algorithms about people and their habits and what they do that it can almost predict when somebody's going to make a move and buy something. And there's a lot of different softwares for this for different companies. So again, whether you're in a health profession or selling houses or providing maybe a financial service, because of the habits and what people do online, these algorithms are going to say, hey, this guy is doing this, you should probably call him right now because there's a good chance that he's going to be buying a product from you or doing something that you can sell him. So I can't give you any specific names right now because I don't know your industry and what you're in, but if you are interested, we'd love to do some homework for you and kind of give you some more direction on that. But it can be a huge part of your CRM, is basically saying, I've got all these people in here and I know that they're doing things, I just don't know what they're going to do next. And these types of software can help you basically get to that next point. So I wanted to actually kind of go over 3 different scenarios. We talk a lot about real estate, so we're going to talk about them today, and then we're going to talk about the medical and dental profession, and then also more financial services like lending and accountants and CPAs and things like that. So In real estate, I think the goal of your business is to capture a buyer and seller lead. Obviously, you're trying to get in front of as many people who are trying to make a decision in the housing industry right now as possible, and you want to stay in front of them until they actually make a decision to either buy or sell, because that's when that transaction happens. So if somebody's out there looking at houses on Zillow, you got to keep putting houses in front of them that they want to see that maybe they haven't found. If you've been sending them information on houses and you see that they're clicking on all the 4 bedrooms but not the 3 bedrooms, stop sending them 3-bedroom houses, right? And when they click on a house maybe multiple times and they keep coming back to the site and looking at it, that's when you need to pick up the phone and say, hey Jim, I saw that you were looking at this 4-bedroom house. I noticed that it's vacant. Would you like me to set up an appointment so that we can go see it today at 3 o'clock? Something like that. It sounds creepy to the person on the other end, but if you knew your client that well, they're going to think you're unbelievable. They're not going to think too much about it and get creeped out. They're going to know that, man, my agent knows me and he knows what I'm looking for, and this is great. So you're basically trying to find out what the people in my database are doing and how can I keep putting information in front of them. So the other part about a CRM is it's going to remind you to call them when you forget about them, right? So if you met Sally at the grocery store and Sally says, hey, yeah, you're a realtor, great, I've been thinking about moving, okay, it was good to meet you, here's my information, call me sometime. Well, you're going to get busy, you're going to forget about it, you're going to put Sally's information hopefully in your CRM, but then you're going to forget about her. So now, because of all the automation that you set up, you can start giving her your newsletter every week. You can start putting information in front of her and just seeing what happens. Where does she go? Where does she click? Is she looking to move across the country? Is she looking to move down the street? What's she trying to do? You know, so you're going to keep putting information in front of her till you get to know who she is. And then when she takes an action, you know, you can call her and say, hey, remember that house that you looked at? It's available. Let's go look at it. Make a move. Be that agent who's in there at the right spot. That's cool. Hummingbird just flew by. Okay, let's move on to more medical kind of stuff. I think in medical and that industry, you need to provide information on their needs, right? What pain are you going through? What problems do you have that I can solve? If you've been following us on social media, I just went to the dentist this week actually, and one of my gums is being sore, and I brush my teeth, I take care of it and all this stuff. And this new dentist that we went to, he's like, do you grind your teeth? And I was like, I don't think so. So he's looking around. It turns out that I do. I don't even know it, but I grind my teeth at night. And so had he, I'm not knocking on him at all, but had a dentist provided information about sore gums, I probably could have found somebody on sore gums and said, okay, what are some of the things that I'm going through? And I'm not trying to self-diagnose myself, but I could at least know enough to say I need to go seek medical attention because of this. Turns out there's one of my teeth is wearing out and it's causing a problem and it's making my gums get inflamed. So I could find information, I could know, wow, this guy really knows what he's talking about. Maybe I should call him. Maybe I should go see him. You know, in the medical industry, people fly all over the world to go see specialists. I read once that the top brain surgeon in the world makes something like $28 million a year because he's the best of the best. You know, he is the most amazing brain surgeon out there. Do you think people will fly all over the world to take care of a brain surgery need when they need it if they can afford it? Of course they will. I'm not saying that this is the case for every single industry, but if you become that expert in your field, people are going to trust you and they're going to come to you. So YouTube and Facebook and all these platforms allows you now the opportunity that we've never had before to put your content out there in the world in a way that people can see you everywhere and get to trust you and know who you are. So answer people's questions, answer what's going on in their lives, and be able to put that information in front of them at the right spot. So the other thing is when I click on that video about sore gums, follow me along after that. That's what a CRM is going to do. It's going to know that I, Eric, clicked on that video, and now you can tell your CRM, okay, give them this, ask them to meet with me. That's what a CRM can do, because you're not going to be able to do that because you're busy in your business doing your own thing. You're not thinking about that. But your CRM can track these people. They can follow them along and say, this guy's got a problem. He needs to see you. Let's schedule an appointment and get him in here. So that's medical, and then I would say the last part of medical is ask for referrals, because most medical and dental businesses get a lot of referrals. We talked to another dentist this week, and 95% of their business, I think it was, comes from referrals. They don't advertise hardly at all. So if you're not asking for referrals, you're missing out on a ton of business. Just ask, you know, in your emails once a week, once a month, just say, who do you know that could benefit from our services? Things like that. It's so simple. Okay, last one. I know we'll wrap this up here really quick. Financial. So again, educate your audience. You know, be the person out there on the internet who provides all the information that people want to know about. What do I do with my 401k? How much of my money do I save every month for investment? How much money should I put in my Roth? What do I do this? When do I retire? How much money do I need for that? Those kind of things. Like, answer the money questions. One of the most searched topics on the internet is money. So if you're in financial services at all, take advantage of the opportunity to educate people and be the expert. I know there's a lot of attention out there right now, but stand out, do something different, be able to be at the right place at the right time. And again, just like the medical example, when people search for what do I do with my 401k or how do I reinvest my 401k, give them options. So if somebody clicks on this thing, have your CRM send them a series of information that's going to enable you to get in front of that client, okay? You can track the views on your YouTube and you can put more information in front of them based off the actions that they take on these platforms. So there's so much you can do with the CRM. My last note before I put this back in my pocket is just remember to follow up with them. Everything goes that way. Remember to follow up, and that's really what a CRM does. It reminds you, and it does it for you, to stay in front of your clients. It reminds you to follow up, and it keeps you top of mind in their eyes so that they always think about you. And it allows you to not forget. So that's the point. If you don't have a CRM, go find one. Go spend 30 minutes today and just Google CRM, and you'll see how much there's out there, how many different platforms and what you can do. I would definitely look into Insightly. It's a great tool. We love it. There's so much customization you can do with it, and there's a lot of opportunities. So thank you again for following. This one was a little bit longer, but I wanted to get you some really deep information. Again, last week we had a lot of good feedback from the CRM video that we made last Friday, so if you want to go back and watch that one, check that out. If there's anything more specific that we can get into deeper, maybe I'll make some little shorter videos on some of the topics that we covered today. There's a lot more that we can go into. Just send me a message or reach out to me. I'd be happy to cover a little bit more. Or again, talk to you in person about it and just answer your questions that you have. So thank you for following along. I appreciate it. Again, this is Eric with the Orange Stack on Facebook Friday. So make it a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.